Alright, so I've had this project for a few years. It is an 82 Suzuki GSX400T. Not available in the USA. Very rare in Canada, but mostly sold around Europe and other countries. Very hard to find parts for, but it's pretty cool. And with that Kawasaki, I'm looking to get it going. So, first things first, it's on the side of my grandparents' house. I gotta get it up a flight of stairs with no functioning brake and no power. That'll be fun.
It's gonna be.
Okay. Beat me up, Scotty. Alright, so we're back home now. Now a little story of how I came into this bike. It started with another bike. I was probably 17, maybe 18. And a coworker who had recently bought an XJ550 Seika project said that he was in over his head and his parents didn't like it. So I said I would buy it for 300 bucks. And put a picture of what it's supposed to look like up. And I'll put a picture of what this one looked like when I got it. It was pretty rough. Tank was rotted through. It was the wrong tank as well. Missing the seat, missing the airbox, probably missing a handful of other little things. But I was an idiot and I paid 300 bucks for it. Me, my coworker, and his brother loaded it on its side into the back of my Ford Explorer, and then I took it home. And I got it running, and then left it for about a year. Pulled it out of storage, tried to start it again. It backfired out of number 3 carb, caught the battery on fire, caught the wiring on fire, burned through the fuel line, and pretty much made the bike useless. At which point my dad gave me this bike that he had gotten for free from somewhere else. So what do I know is wrong with it? Well, obviously the front forks are leaking. It's got the wrong size front tire on it, and somebody's completely ruined this fender to clear. I have the carbs, had them off to clean a while ago. I've got intake boots on order. The wiring is a little bit iffy. Now you see this blue wire here? That's actually my coil power wire. So what's going on these bikes is a very common mod. Because power for the coil goes through like 3 different switches, they get old, they each build a little resistance, and you don't always get full power when you're trying to start the bike and it doesn't want to start. So a common mod is you use your power from all your switches to trigger a relay which sends battery power to the coil and you get full 12 volts. And my best guess is that somebody decided they were going to try and do that with the starter solenoid, and it probably frustrated the hell out of them because set up like this, the coil's only going to get power while you're cranking the bike. That probably frustrated the living hell out of them, so I had to fix that. I have a relay. I'm going to do the relay mod. Yeah, I have side covers for it too. Something wrong with the front brake. That was unbolted when it came into my possession. All the levers are gone. And the rear brake, the stay rod has snapped off the drum and it's twisted the cam off. But I do have another cam, another lever, and another brake drum. And I actually just didn't notice this until I was loading it up. We got a cracked frame, but that doesn't scare me because I really like this bike. So I'm going to fix it. So yeah. So here's the revelation. I was looking at it in the process of changing that brake drum, or brake plate out. We have ourselves a bent swing arm. So I've been looking on parts fiches because the US market never got the 400, but the GS450T swing arm appears to be identical, so I'll get one from eBay. And looking at a closer look, there's that frame tube. There's this one with the crack. You can almost see it's kind of bowed in. And if you look real close, that's not a factory weld. See how that's nice? That's not a factory weld. And also, again, if you look at this tube, you can see it's been kicked out on that edge, kicked in there, and it's cracked right there. Given that the swing arm's bent on this side's low. The shock was holding it in. As soon as I took the shock off, it dropped down a lot more. And that bent peg, it was either dropped really hard on this side, or it was hit on this side. I don't know. The insurance history, you know, its title status is normal. It's not a rebuild or salvage or anything. And again, I'm not too worried about this. This will be an easy enough repair. What I'll do is I'll probably slice this cross brace here and bend this out where it's supposed to be, because it appears to be bent in a little bit. And then this piece of tube, I don't know, I might just find a whole new tube, splice it in there, or cut it, bend it out, and sleeve it, put something on the inside and weld it back up. That would be easy enough to do. And on this one, it's kind of a tough spot. I might just weld it up properly underneath and call it good. Maybe put a stringer on the back for some strength, but I'm not too worried about it. Sucks that the swing arm's bent, but eBay should fix that. Alright, so it's the next day. Got the carbs back in there. I got a little bit of gas in it. I was actually looking at that wiring that I said earlier that thought would have frustrated some guy. That's not the coil wire. It seems to be just a booster wire. It has a diode in line so that when you're cranking you get battery power to the number one coil, but you still get power to both coils the rest of the time. But anyway, it's got some gas in it. Let's see if it'll do something for us. Give it some help. well, I've been playing with it a little bit, letting it run. Now that I've got some fuel through the carbs, it seems to want to idle a little bit. You may notice a little bit of smoke, and that's coming out of the airbox. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. I might have maybe a valve clearance issue. But let's see if it'll start and idle for us. Alright, so I think I'll end it here today. I got some work to do. Again, another situation where I have no title for this bike. I gotta go down to the North Van and get the record search done. That'll be no problem. I did do a claim history search because I was curious. It had a claim in 2005 for a collision. No other details than that. But that explains some of this damage that we're seeing. Let's see if we'll fire it first. It's been sitting for a couple hours. I've been doing other things. Horn even works. So with that, thank everybody for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Okay, so just a short little update for the end of this video. You can see I've got the swing arm off. I've got it on some body lift blocks by the swing arm mounting bolt at that end and the axle bolt at this end. You can really, let me adjust the camera here. You can really see just how much twist it has in it. I'm going to go ahead and say that this side, the right hand side of the bike, is low because I can take this shock on and off no problem. If I take this shock off, the side of the swing arm drops. So I'm going to say that's going to be my low side. I'm going to take my chances straightening it. I got a big vise attached to a big heavy work table at work, and oxyacetylene torches, and a welder to strengthen it if I seem fit. You know, if it feels like it needs to be strengthened after I get it straight, then I will weld some sort of reinforcement in there. But, you know, it's a tubular steel swing arm. It's probably okay. Anyway, that's a little update. Thanks for watching.